It's Festival Sounds. I'm Tilly.
I'm Bilal.
Today we're talking all things Glastonbury tickets and the massive changes.
Shit got real. Right, first I'm going to have to apologise to the listeners. These are not gunshots in the background. There's fireworks outside the studio. Fireworks from the PR team from Glastonbury Festival.
They're trying to smooth over this ruffled feathers by letting off some fireworks.
My phone lit up at lunchtime with people saying, oh my God, have you seen what they've done?
Yeah, I think we need to start from the top.
So they tweeted out, hey, look, here's the news for ticket sales. On the website, the bit that says what's new for 2025, rather than refreshing the holding page to attempt to access the booking page this year, when the ticket sales begin, everyone who's already on the website will be randomly assigned a place in the queue to access the booking process. Wow.
I mean, straight off the bat, it's giving the massive disaster of Oasis tickets. Already, that's my initial thoughts, is people have had some bad experiences of this type of system before.
It has to be a reaction to something. They've not done it for no reason. Emily Evis in the summer was saying she doesn't want anything that resembles a ballot. She likes people working hard, persevering for tickets. This is the opposite of that.
It's like random. It feels worse than hitting the refresh. And I know there was lots of problems with hitting refresh, but it feels worse.
So there's a mix in this episode. There's Tilly and Bilal react, and there's also our listeners react. I've got a load of comments. Some of them talk about, is it a ballot? Is it not a ballot? It's not really a ballot, but there's more of a element of luck than there was before. Before there was perseverance got you through to an extent.
And like people have tried and tested methods that work, having lots of people, lots of friends, lots of tabs, lots of devices. And obviously I know the festival many years has said, oh, don't have all of that because it actually makes the system worse. But it's tried and tested. It's the way that people get tickets.
Should we get into more of it? It says anyone who logs on once a sale has started will automatically be added to the back of the queue. So it's important to make sure you're online ready when the sale opens. So this idea that, and I've done this before, where I've logged on at 1:15 and I've got myself a ticket. That's not going to happen. You're going to be at the back of the queue. You have got to be on time.
See, what I don't get is, if it's a random queue for those who are already on the website, why is everyone joining put to the back? That's not very random. Do you know what I mean?
Only once it's started.
Only once it's started. Okay.
Only once it started. So if you need to be on the site at 6 o'clock or 9 o'clock, whenever it starts. I haven't planned that far. This was supposed to be next week's problem. And now, you and I are talking about it on Bonfire Night. What happens when you get to the front of the queue is the same. They've put some screenshots up. You put your postcode, your registration number, it all comes up. That all looks really similar. There is a bit more detail on using multiple devices. So it says, is it possible to have tickets in my basket but not be able to complete the purchase? It says, yes, not allocated until your payment has been processed. So that means you've still got to put your payment details in super quick to get those tickets.
Although, did I see that you have 10 minutes from when you get to the front of the page?
I don't think that's the case here. I think it has been. I'm sure that was the case last year, but here it says it's not allocated until your payment has been processed. So that means if it's in your basket, but you've not paid for it, they're not held for you. Not even for the 10 minutes.
Has it always been a rule that you can only buy 6 tickets? Because I saw that somewhere that you can. Yeah, that's always been a rule. Fair enough.
As long as I can remember.
Can you tell I don't have more than 6 friends?
I mean, that was a bit of a tell there. I was like, yeah, of course. When my group of 6, we always know that it's 6 people. There's another point in here about using multiple devices, and this isn't as clear. It says, refreshing the page using multiple tabs or many devices can look suspicious and may harm your chances of getting through by triggering anti-bot software. So it says stick to one tab/device per IP address. That doesn't really make much sense because if you're in a house share on the one Wi-Fi, does that mean that
you're going to have
2 people
multiple
can't
devices?
try? It's going to be multiple devices. So I think they're probably saying that so that people don't run 10 devices at one time.
Clearly they're trying to reduce the traffic on the website, aren't they? But it kind of feels like with this having logged on a few minutes before malarkey, you're going to increase the traffic because everyone's going to be sat on the website waiting, and they say a few minutes, but what is a few? Some people might be on 10 minutes before, some people might on 1 minute before. I can just imagine that website getting overloaded. I'm sure they've thought of it, but it just feels chaotic.
Well, the screenshot has the queue it picture of it. So there's like a queue, you know, like when you're buying football tickets, it looks like the same thing. It also says don't refresh the page. So I think once you're in and you're in the queue, if you refresh, it might send you to the back of the queue. So I don't know how that's going to work. If you've got it on your phone and you're messaging your mates on WhatsApp, is it going to refresh if you close down Safari and then
am I going
to
have to
WhatsApp?
Turn off my auto refresh? Like, is that something?
I think people who've got, like, those people who used to hammer F5 or maybe then, I don't think you can do that now because it's going to knock you to the back of the queue. I think, going off what the website says. This is mad. This is what I would encourage everyone who's listening to read what's on the website, get to grips with it. I'll post a link in the show notes. But get this figured out now. Don't leave it to the morning, run 4 or 5 tabs, and then end up at the back of the queue. I wouldn't want any of our listeners to go through that.
Do we have anything more we want to say about this bit then?
Oh, let's do some tips, right? All right, so quickly, these are my tips. If you still want to cover it in more detail, you can go back to the episode from last year where we did the ticket buying process. But we're not going to go through that one all over again. Get your groups organised. Check your registration is up to date. Check your address is up to date. You're using the right postcode. Make sure no one's in more than one group of 6. So make it clear to your mates they can only be in one group of 6. Otherwise, someone's going to get through and it's going to jeopardise the sale for everyone else. Have enough money on your card, because they're going to take payment straight away. Don't let that payment fail. Just get organised. Know if you're going by coach, know where you're going from, what time you want that coach to be. I think you can pick times for London and Bristol. Just be clear with everyone what you're doing, and you'll still have a really good chance of getting tickets. It's all about being organised.
I do feel a little bit bad for those trying for coach tickets because I feel like they're the guinea pigs, aren't they? They're the ones that have to try for it first.
You're looking at one of them. I'm trying for coach this year.
And you can let us know how it goes.
Should we do listener react?
I think it's time for the listeners react.
Lucy Miles commented on our X post. She just posted a crying gif.
I mean, that sums it up really, doesn't it?
It does.
Maybe, could they be tears of happiness?
Looking at the gif, they were not tears of happiness.
Okay, sorry, Lucy.
Our friend, the Glasto Thingy. We should get Glasto Thingy on the pod.
We definitely should.
He'd be an amazing guest.
Glasto Thingy is the best.
Ultimately, it's probably fairer. This is what he says. Not quite a ballot, at least you need to sign on and you can't sleep through it. I agree with that. I'd say it still favours large groups as you have more people in the queue, so more chance of someone getting your ticket. I agree with that as well. If there's just 2 of you, then you've not got the chance of 6 people, and 6 people probably have 2 devices going each.
Yeah.
He also said the old system favours persistence. But if you look at the social media, when the sale is on, you've got people complaining that they can't get through. They were the ones who weren't trying properly.
They're the ones that after 5 minutes think, oh, I'm never going to do it. I'll just give up. You probably get a wave of hundreds of people doing that after 5 minutes, 6 minutes, however long it is. And that probably helps other people to get through, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And he signs off, and this is why we love the thingy. Nobody deserves a ticket more than someone else, as long as they've been actively trying to get one.
Yeah, so true. The people who've gone before always say, oh, only people who've been to Glastonbury before should be allowed tickets. And then the people who've never been before always say, well, only the people who've never been before should be allowed tickets. So there's always arguments, aren't there?
Yeah, 100%. Shawnee Gravy.
Shawnee Gravy. Does he love gravy?
He must be northern. Northern lads love gravy.
Chips and gravy.
People want a queue. People want a ballot system. People want it kept the same, so you press F5 and you get a spot. People want it so those who have been previously get priority. Still feels like a lucky dip, but there won't be a system that will please everyone.
Very true. The fact that Glastonbury themselves have said stuff about bot software. Like, I'm sure they've had that, all before. I'm sure that's nothing new. But, they're going out of their way to try and name the fact that they are taking steps to try and reduce bots, hopefully trying to reduce resales, tickets going for extortionate amounts. So, maybe it's a step in the right direction.
Dot Dash says part of the reason for the magic of Glastonbury is the crowd. If that changes, too much might lose its edge.
Very true. Very true.
I should add that you haven't seen any of these tweets, have you?
I'm live reacting.
Funky UK. I don't know why we're even bothering reading this one out. So I can't rock up to my local record shop the week before and get a ticket in person. Next you'll be telling me they put the price up from 55 quid.
I'm a bit sorry. It's a bit more than 55 quid now.
I think this goes to the heart of, if you message us, we will read it out.
Yeah.
Doesn't
matter if you're slating us, we will read it out.
And Squirt -1? SQRT?
Squirt.
It's a great move. Everyone gets the same amount of attempts. It's a much more democratic system.
I wouldn't say democratic, but they're not wrong. But there's not much democracy involved. It's just random luck.
I like it when you say they're not wrong. And what you mean is they're wrong.
Well, the other part was great. Just the democracy. I don't see how democracy is involved in this.
Fair enough.
But maybe they mean that the people wanted this, so maybe I guess it is democracy. So I do apologise to Squirt, whatever their name was.
Carrie Ann Wallace says, never going to be a system that pleased everyone. It's potluck, but it does seem fairer. Compared to those people who got through 2-3 times, got 18 tickets, because they won't be able to do that after the first basket. They'll end up at the back of the queue.
Yeah, that's true. I do dislike the fact that if you had a Wi-Fi failure, say you were number 2 in the queue, something, maybe auto refresh happens, you're going to be straight to the back of the queue. Like, that feels horrible. I'm just thinking about it now. That gives me cold sweats.
Yeah, and it goes with something that Hell's Bell said. If it stops people being able to use the back button after purchasing tickets so that they can get groups and groups of their mates through on a giant spreadsheet who can barely be bothered to apply, then I'm all for it. Now, I'm inclined to agree with anything Hell's Bell says, because her ex-profile picture, she's wearing a hat that says the All England Techno Club. So I'm like, yeah, fair play. It's the kind of person I could get on with.
If you've had one system for a number of years, people find loopholes, people find ways to get through. I remember last year there was a rumour that someone, if you typed in a different number on the IP address of the website, that you got straight through and everyone was getting loads of tickets through that. I remember that. So
that was absolutely a hack last year. And I got sent detailed specs for how it worked. And I had a mate in IT look at it and said, yeah, this holds up. And what they were doing were hitting the standby servers. But
if it stops things like that happening, it can't be that bad, If it stops hacks, cheats, ways of scamming the system, then it's not bad.
And as responsible podcasters, we didn't post that. I think we found out about it in one sale, and maybe you could have used it on the resale, so we didn't, because it didn't seem fair and we didn't want to circulate it more. It would have hurt our listeners' chances because not everyone's tech savvy. So that's why we didn't share it.
And also, if you're getting in through the back door, it doesn't feel right.
Feels dirty.
Yeah, it feels gross.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Many people would disagree, I'm sure. I'm sure they think a ticket's a ticket, but I would know. It's like a blood ticket.
It's how you get in. No, because you've stopped someone else who's tried the legit way from getting their place. It doesn't sit right. Emmett Pugtato. No, you can't laugh. It might actually be his name.
Sorry, I assume it's a pug and a potato, but maybe that is their name. Sorry, Emmett.
It could be. I don't know. But cool name, Emmett.
Cool name, Emmett.
Don't care for the idea. Yeah, it's concise.
I love the idea that they've got a pug on their lap, a potato in hand, and they're like, no, don't care for it.
It's an X name. It's probably made up. Dan Lenny, big love for Dan Lenny, followed us for a long time. In fact, a couple of the people who've tweeted us here, Dan Lenny, followed us for a while. Initial panic following how bad Oasis and Coldplay sales were. Didn't get on to see tickets at all. Remember, we said that in the last episode. We had the same problem. But that said, it can't be worse than the Ticketmaster queuing system, can it? I think it might look just like the Ticketmaster queuing system.
I feel like it's I want to say the lesser of two evils, but I think it might be the same.
Yeah.
It's just rebranded.
Exactly. He says, I think it benefits the less prepared F5ers. There's like an F5 crew.
The OG F5 crew.
It's over, man. The F5 dream.
The F5 dream's dead.
Mr. Dog.
Mr. Dog.
Fate sealed the minute you're assigned a queue number. What if you get assigned number 1?
Then job well done.
How amazing would that be if it said you were number 1 in the queue?
I would love to know how not that I'm a tech savvy person at all, but how does that work? How do you get randomly assigned? That's crazy. It's so interesting.
Like a tombola.
Just the computer's just doing a big bingo ball.
And then we're going to get into, it prioritised this area or people coming from that country. It's always going to happen. It's all speculation. Mr. Dog says, no element of being able to improve your chances via multiple devices or refreshing. Convinced it's very unlikely I'll have an 11th consecutive year. Oh, man. Mr. Dog's not happy.
Aww,
he thinks also, he's resigned to not getting in. I think you're going to get there, Mr. Dog. And me and you, we're having a beer up at Trickett's in the park. It's happening, Mr. Dog.
Mr. Dog, you've got as good a chance as anyone else. No one else is more likely to get it. You're not less likely to get it. Everyone, I assume, this is kind of the aim of it, is everyone's on an equal level. So level playing field. You could do that 11th year. You gotta hope, Mr. Dog.
But let's put some love out there. Base it on karma. Be nice to your neighbour. Be nice to the guy you see in the street. That positive energy is going to come back to you.
Yeah, rather than beating up your F5 key, you can stroke your computer.
That sounded so wrong. Please stop.
You can be nice to your computer. You don't have to be horrible to that poor F5 key. The refresh does not matter. Am I just digging? Just keep digging. Just keep digging.
Play the jingle. I'm always ready to giggle. It's like the slightest prompt and I'm done.
Oh, right, dear.
Okay, so Glastopia got in touch. Big love for Glastopia. Amazing Twitter handle. Well worth following. Will never be a system that everyone's happy with. The old one was far from good. It's fair. Every year we counted our luck. I also think the previous system favoured those that had big groups trying for them. This system does that even more. Okay, I would have thought it'd gone the other way, that actually more luck element means less chance for big groups. But I suppose big groups, group of 6, multiple devices, I get that. Is 2 weeks enough to make friends? Oh, I'll be your friend, Glastopia.
What do they mean by that?
Because I think they're maybe applying by themselves or in a group of 2.
Right, I see.
Your chances are better with a group of 6.
I don't know what I thought they meant. They want to be friends with their F5 key.
I'm muting. Glasto Babe got in touch. It's always been a matter of luck, but it did feel like we had chances to maximise our efforts using some tricks. Now it's just luck of the draw. It's true.
I mean, I do still think having multiple devices, I get what they're saying. If you had 20 iPads, that might be excessive. If you were doing it in an IT room with hundreds of computers, understandably that would look dodgy. But surely if you've got a phone, an iPad and a laptop, that's not going to be excessive. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what I normally do.
Yeah.
I use my Mac and an iPad. And the iPad's on 4G. It's a different address,
that's a good hack, Bill.
Have I given it away?
No, if they've said the IP address is what might be, they might think it's a bot. You have your phone and your iPad on 4G and you have the laptop on Wi-Fi, and then everything's got a different IP address.
Agreed. That's the way I would do it.
Wow, that's good.
Macca, big love for Macca, followed us for a long time, always been supporting us.
Paul Macca.
This is the OG Macca.
this is the real Macca.
I'm happy. You just join the queue and wait. The angry ones are the ones that go every year refreshing 1,000,000 times with their 6,000 friends. And I'm sure they'll still make it there anyway. But yeah,
True.
I'm going to agree with everything you say, Macca, because I like you.
Yeah.
And if you can hear that noise, it's because I'm holding a piece of paper with all your tweets in my
You're
hand.
a real one, Maka.
Yeah. Big love to Maka. And the last one, Nikki Sorabi.
Nikki Sorabi.
Old system favoured the determined and the ones who really want to go. Now people aren't as bothered and will get an equal shot. Will surely dilute the magic when you have less regular Glassdoor goers there.
I don't think that's true.
Well, you and I have had this conversation about the culture and the ethos and the vibe of the crowd.
I understand, and I know it's hard to recreate, and I know that hardly any of the festival feels the same as Glastonbury, and I totally get that. I don't think that is solely because the same people go to Glastonbury every year. It physically can't be. It's just the magic of the place and the type of people and the community and the people that want to go to Glastonbury and all of the things that they put on, the music and everything else. It can't be just because the same 50,000 people get to go every year. It can't be that.
And the energy brought by newbies is amazing because they look at everything with this, oh my God, look how amazing that is. And I want to go here, I want to go there. I like the energy of newbies. I went with a newbie last year and living vicariously through that person, seeing the buzz of going around a corner and seeing something they've not seen before. And yeah, that brings a special magic. I don't have a problem with it either.
There's nothing wrong with being the first. It's your first time at Glastonbury. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
And we're going to sign off with a final message that we've got whilst we've been recording, because it's from Reg the Hedge.
Reg the Hedge
was worried because they'd been through a horrible experience with Oasis tickets. And they thought he was a bot and threw him out.
No. God.
At least that's Ticketmaster. That was Ticketmaster, not C-Ticket. So hopefully, Reg the Hedge, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Okay, this was a raw episode because we just saw the news. We recorded straight away. Tilly hadn't seen any of these tweets. There you go. There's your episode. There's your react. There's some tips in there. I've got to go play footy. You want to hang around and chat?
I've got to plan my Glastonbury ticket process for the next 9 working days. I've got to go out and buy 5 more iPads.
If you've got friends who are getting excited about Glastonbury, please share our episode with them. Please follow us on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating if you like the show. It'll help other people find shows if they're into this kind of thing.
Thanks for listening. I hope that my reacts were good enough for you. And I hope that you aren't scarred by my joke about the F5 key. I do apologise.